AITA for being such a bitch to my dad's wife after my mom died. My 17F parents got divorced 6 years ago because my dad was cheating. His wife, Hazel, worked with my mom and knew us, so the breakup was bad, and my brother, 19M, and I didn't think dad was such a good guy after we found out what he did, and our relationship with him was never the same. We never liked his wife, and over time I grew to hate her. She expected things to be okay, and of course they fucking weren't. I don't know why she was deluded enough to think me and my brother would like her, or that mom would care about what happens to her. Things got way nastier at the same time the divorce was finalized and dad married Hazel. She was pregnant and had a miscarriage a few days before the wedding. She called mom to ask her to take us to the hospital to see her, and mom said no. Hazel cried down the phone to mom about the miscarriage and how she needed her family around her and to show compassion. My mom told her she had no compassion for the woman who broke up her marriage. Hazel called my mom while I was at her and my dad's house. My brother was old enough to stop going by this point, and she told mom she set a bad example and to think about the sibling me and my brother lost. Mom said she was glad it happened to Hazel and dad and that we wouldn't have to deal with a half-sibling from them since they were cheating sluts. I think she said sluts. I couldn't hear everything. Hazel went nuts and never forgot what mom said. Once I was old enough, I stopped going to dad's house too, and I ignored any contact from Hazel and did everything to shut her out. I still had to speak to dad sometimes so mom wouldn't get in trouble for not encouraging some contact. But Hazel wasn't a part of that. Sometimes she did show up when dad did, and she'd be very hostile to mom back and expected us to side with her. My mom was diagnosed with cancer in January, and she died 3 weeks ago. My brother and I were with her, and dad came when he heard mom was gone and took us to his house. We didn't want to go, but he insisted he needed to be there for us. Hazel was there waiting and tried to hug us and stuff, but we shut her down. My brother and I were both crying, and I was asking him how we were meant to do all this. Dad said he was there for that, and we needed to lean on him. Then Hazel said the bad influence was finally out of our lives, and we could work on our relationships with each other. My brother cursed at her and told her to shut up. Hazel said stuff like that was mom's fault, and it was sad how we didn't see mom as the disgusting POS she was. She said I heard what mom told her on the phone that day, and still chose mom. I told her she was twisted if she thought I'd pick my dad's mistress over my own mom, and I told her I would never have a relationship with her and she's a disgusting, nasty person, and I didn't give a crap what mom said to her because she deserved it all and more. Hazel lost it, and my brother took me to our grandparents. Dad tried to stop us from leaving and tried to make me come back, but I said no. I've stayed with my grandparents since, and my brother's still here. My brother and I shut dad out, and we didn't tell him anything about the funeral even though he asked. Hazel tried to reach out to me, and I ignored her. Then dad and Hazel started texting me to say I need to apologize for being so awful to her, and it wasn't her fault mom died. AITA?